So the first question was on the issue of SD cards and whether the SD cards are actually encrypted or not. My answer to that question is yes. The SD card is the information that resides in the SD card is encrypted, and therefore, if the SD card is going to be lost, nobody can be able to access that information unless you have the decryption key. So then the information actually inside the SD card is actually secure. The other question is on the archiving of the voters who have already voted. Yes, the system basically automatically archives any person who has voted. And archiving does not mean deleting. Archiving means that you are marked that you have already voted. And therefore, this information, if we are even to avail it in the future, we can even tell you who has voted. The only thing we cannot be able to tell you who he has voted for who. But in terms of who has voted, what is his age, what is his sex, what is the sex, and the rest, that information can be provided. How effective is the KIMS kit in identifying? How did it, I think we all know, and with that we did not have any problem in 2017 in terms of identification. In fact, I want to confidently say that by 5, almost all the voters who had turned up the polling station had been identified. Maybe at that particular time we were also using a combination of the KIMS kit and the physical register, but in terms of identification, it worked very, very effectively. We never had any challenges, and in fact, you alluded to the fact that the problem is not even identification here. The problem is results transmission. That is what you said. So therefore, we did not have any challenge in as far as identification is basically concerned. Then the other issue was in the tender document, it was indicated that the technology will come with a mobile device management system. So is that mobile device management system there? My answer to that is yes. The mobile device management system is there, and you can be able to use it to poll all the devices that have actually been deployed for the purpose of this election. And we are ready to provide you with all the information regarding the kits that are going to be deployed. And therefore, you will know which kits have actually been used for the purpose of identification. And not just identification, but also later on, they are going to be used for the purpose of results transmission. Then the other issue is regarding, are they going to also be real-time? There's going to be real-time connectivity or not? I wanted to restate the fact that I said that for the purpose of identification, the KIMS kit is going to work offline. But remember, the KIMS kit also has got 2 SIM cards, the primary SIM card and the secondary SIM card, which is basically the backup. This KIMS kit, in order for the MDM to poll them, they must also be accessible to the device. And therefore, the MDM will be able to poll using the connectivity. And therefore, you are able now to poll and say, this device is actually working, it's actually at this particular place. And therefore, the KIMS kit, and I also stated before that the KIMS kit will be used to transmit the turnout at a specific time. It cannot transmit when it's not connected. So it's going to be connected so that you can be able to poll and that you can be able to send some information regarding turnout. But in as far as identification is concerned, the KIMS kit is going to be used offline. Now, there's a second question that basically followed that. Is the KIMS kit GeoFenced? And the other backup kits, are they GeoFenced? My answer to is yes, because at the opening of the polling station, whereby the information in the KIMS kit is going to be for a given sector beyond the polling station. At the opening of the polling station, you use the QR code to lock the polling station to the 700 voters who are actually in that polling station. And therefore, the information that is going to be used for the purpose of identification is going to be the 700 maximum, or the 200, or the 19, whoever has actually been is in that polling station. So the KIMS kit is going to lock itself. It is going to lock itself to the 700 voters for that specific polling station. And therefore, all identification will be going through the 700 or the number of the registered voters in that polling station. So it's So that is how the KIMS kit is going to work. I think there was the issue of, and also the backup kits. The backup kits also, you also asked whether they're also going to be GeoFence. My answer to is yes. Before you use them, still, when you bring the backup kit and you insert the SD card, the SD card, you still also need to use the QR code to lock yourself the same 700 voters. So you are not going to go away from that. You are going to use the 700 voters in that specific polling session. In terms of a gazetted, registered polling session, I think at some opportune time, the Commission is going to gazette the number of voters in each and every polling station. That is going to be done. IBC, can IBC demonstrate what is being populated in the SD cards? I think this is something that the Commission can be able to deliberate upon and provide its direction on the same. But personally, as a person, I have no problem. I have no problem in stakeholders going to observe what is actually being done. Like I said, we have got a factory specifically for producing the KIMS kit. Even as we speak, there are people who are working there. We have not reached that stage of populating information into duplicating the SD card. But if that is requested, I'm sure the Commission actually, they are hearing and they can be able to provide direction with regard to that. I also wanted to, there was a question for me just to provide assurance that that everybody is going to vote if we are going to use this method. Yes, everybody is going to vote. Who is a legitimate voter is going to vote if we use the KIMS kit. So as long as you come with your identification documents and you present yourself there, because that is the only way we can be able to positively identify you.